What's going on, guys? I'm Vulkan, and today we're spending some time talking about all of the little things that can get missed when you first step foot in Lost Ark. Now, as you know, this is a huge game, and I mean huge. It is a giant game. There's tons of things to do, lots of systems to learn, and lots of rewards to claim. And sometimes the game doesn't do as great of a job as it could of telling you about all of these different things. So what we're going to talk about today is all of the things I wish I knew before playing Lost Ark. Now, if you want to blast through the story to reach endgame, there's obviously a surefire way to do that. Every game has a optimized path from start to finish. You just need to focus on the main quests to do this in Lost Ark. These are going to give you enough experience to reach level 50 without ever touching anything else. You literally just need to do this one thing and you will get from start to finish. But that doesn't mean you always should. So even if you want to level as fast as possible, there are a few quests that you should pick up. Now, these are the purple adventure quests and the yellow chain quests. Now, oftentimes these will reward you with a potion that's going to increase your stats or unlock a feature that you can take advantage of later on. Now, there are some that I do recommend doing no matter what, and you need to make sure you do these while you're leveling because they overlap with main quests, and I mean, it's just the most time efficient thing to do. Now, the reason you want to do these ones specifically because they are going to give you skill potions, which will give you more points to build your character with. The first one is Memories of Lutera, and this is going to come from Thirain, who is the king of Lutera at Lutera's castle. Then we're going to have Wondrous Find from Kadri, located in Port City. Now, that being said, these two I do recommend because you're going to be leveling, you're going to have to do these while you're also doing your main story quests, and it just makes sense from a time perspective. But I would also recommend doing a bunch of these activities to gather as many skill points as possible, because in my opinion, more is almost always better. And to help you out, I've put a link in the description below to show all of the places that give you skill potions. But quest rewards and skill points aren't the only things to claim in Lost Ark. So as you progress through the story, you kill bosses, complete dungeons, all of that fun stuff, you're going to start marking off tasks and activities in each zone. And then once you reach a certain threshold, you're going to start earning rewards. Now, these are going to start off pretty minor, but ultimately they end with very rare items that you want to take advantage of. So be sure to claim your roster and your adventure tome rewards because they can be very easily forgotten about. Now, another thing that can be forgotten about or overlooked is Rapport. So this is a system that allows you to build reputation with NPCs in the game. And as you build those relationships, you're going to start earning rewards. Again, more rewards to claim. This game is full of them. Now, I want this to be very, very, very clear. Not all NPCs are created equally. And because of that, you might have some that give you kind of rewards that are more valuable to you than others. So go out to papunica.com. I've put a link in the description below. Check out the Rapport section. This will show you all of the NPCs and the rewards you can earn as you go through each level of reputation with them. And because building Rapport takes a long time and it's a pretty decent grind, you don't want to waste resources trying to boost NPCs that have no value to you, right? You don't want to take the shotgun approach. You don't just want to boost whatever you boost. You need to make sure that you pick the NPCs you want to focus on and then use all of your resources to boost those ones, because losing days will set you back more and more and more. So even if you quickly log in to take care of your dailies, do your end game, whatever, always make sure to use your emotes and your songs to progress your relationship with that NPC, in addition to the gifts that you can give them. Now, getting to those NPCs all in a day can be very time consuming, especially if you have to travel across the sea. I mean, even with your auto route and you're in your ship, you still have to sit there and let the game play out. It's not instant. It's not something you can just, snap your fingers and suddenly you're there. However, there is a much faster way of teleporting to certain spots in the world, and these are called Bifrosts. So by default, you get one of these. Now, if you activate your Crystalline Aura, which is the paid subscription model for Lost Ark, you get 2 more, and that gives you a total of 3. These are incredibly useful. You can open your Bifrost book, you can save a location that you want to teleport back to, and this can be anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be near a triport. It doesn't have to be, in a city. It can literally be anywhere. And this makes returning to areas and NPCs much quicker than actually traveling there. And this is great for parking like a Bifrost location near a Rapport character, a farming location, a world boss, really anything that you care about. This is something I would highly recommend taking advantage of. Once you get your ship, you can set these, and that way you don't have to travel across long distances anymore. You can just teleport there. Now, these do have a long cooldown, so make sure to use them and take advantage of when you actually go there. You can't teleport away and then go back, oh man, I really need to teleport back to that spot. You're going to have to wait 2 hours, I believe, in order to teleport back there. And speaking of teleports, one thing that I did want to mention that isn't overly obvious is that you can actually teleport to any sort of triport from your overlay by holding Alt. So you don't have to open your overview map, your full map in order to do that. You can just go to your overlay, hold Alt, click on your triport, and teleport there. This is going to save some time. It's extremely easy to do. And honestly, once you get into the rhythm of it, it feels weird to actually open your full map and try to teleport somewhere. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are cards. So in Lost Ark, you're going to start earning cards in Prideholme, and then from there, you can actually unlock and equip them. So at first, these really don't seem like they're that important, right? That might even look like a sort of collection system, like a collect 'em all type of situation. But these actually give you passive bonuses that can do things like increase your damage, your resistance, and then there's a whole host of other benefits that you can actually equip and take advantage of. Now, you do need to look at each card to see what passives it offers, because some might be a lot more useful to you than others. And as you work through the story, you will get more rare cards. That way you can help kind of complete each set. And sometimes you're going to earn a card deck as a reward. And this can be used to pull a random card from a list. Sometimes you get really lucky and you get a super rare one that you actually need. Other times you get a duplicate. So really, it's all up to Lady Luck, and we just have to see what happens. Now, another way to customize your character is through the skill system. There isn't anything hidden about the skill system. There isn't anything new, but this is just a reminder to those that might be coming from Path of Exile or Grim Dawn. Typically, your isometric action RPGs, you don't really have the flexibility or the freedom for some of the systems. Like in Path of Exile, you have to use Orbs of Regret in order to pull back skill points and reallocate them. In Grim Dawn, once you choose your masteries, those are stuck unless you use a third-party tool. Well, in Lost Ark, you don't have any limitations or costs to resetting your skills. You can just hit reset, you get everything back, and you can put it wherever you want. So make sure to explore with your skill points, because you can reset them all for free whenever, wherever. It doesn't really matter. So if you get a new skill, take 10 points out of your other skill and put it into this one to see if you really like the way it performs. This is the best way to do it. And honestly, it just helps reinforce the whole customization and freedom of customization that Lost Ark brings to the table. So next up, I want to touch on a few ship tips. So this system is very lightly touched on, and there are some key points in here that are critical for ocean travel. But honestly, they kind of get missed since the game gives you a ton of information all at once you start to unlock your ship. So first, you can change your ship and your crewmates, and you need to. That way they can best fit the different stretches of water that you'll be traveling through. For instance, you want to take the icebreaker ship when traveling through icy regions, and then also make sure your crew doesn't subtract from icy regions either. The same goes for sirens, swells, muddy water, all of the other hazards that are built into this game. You want to make sure you bring the right ship and the right crew. That way your ship doesn't take any extra damage and you're able to save on repair costs, which is our next point. So your ship will incur wear and tear during your adventures, and it will need to be repaired. So don't forget to repair it every time you port. It doesn't cost very much, and if you don't, bad things can happen. And this is one of those things that I honestly forgot about or didn't know about for a long period of time. And my ship was just getting lower and lower and lower on its, I guess, durability is the way you could kind of talk about it. But it got lower and lower and lower to a point where it was almost out. And I noticed, wow, this thing's going down. I looked into it and I needed to repair my ship. And this might be because of translation. It might be because I was playing on the Russian server, but ultimately I didn't know to repair my ship. It almost cost me quite a bit. So I ended up repairing it, and then I was back in action. But this is, again, something that you don't really, it's not really thrown into your face as much as other things. So all in all, repair your ship. Now, our last tip is about finding specific materials. So if you're like me and you skipped gathering while you were leveling because, you were playing beta and you just wanted to get, from point A to point B as quickly as possible, you might need to revisit some old areas to level up those trade skills. But the issue is, what areas have what? Like if you're looking for foraging, do you always have to go to a forest or plains, or will every area have some flowers to pick? Well, luckily the game has a built-in feature for this. So you can open up your overview map, right, your main map, and you can hover over a zone to see what resources you can find there. And this makes it extremely easy to find the materials you're looking for. That way you can level up those trade skills. And by the way, this will not work for areas you have not visited yet, so it only works for places that you've discovered. All right, folks, so these are my top 10 tips for new players and things that I wish I knew ahead of time. This game is almost here. I mean, we're slightly less than 2 weeks away from early access, and I am just over the moon. I'm so excited we finally get to play this game. So before I go, I did want to talk about a couple things. One, if you're looking for a guild to join for Lost Ark, we would be happy to have you. Consider kind of popping into Discord, joining up with us, chatting, meeting the community. We have over 1,000 members, almost 1,200 members actually, and they're all just huge isometric ARPG fans, looter fans, shooter fans. I mean, if it drops loot, we're excited for it. And we plan to explore everything Lost Ark has to offer, including PvP, PvE, end-game content. So really kind of there's something for everybody, which we're really excited about. Now, this guild isn't like hardcore. It doesn't have requirements. We're not like, hey, you need to play 5 hours a day, and if you don't, then we're going to kick you. We're just kind of a come one, come all. Let's have a good time, finally celebrate the launch of Lost Ark, and do some content together. So if this sounds like something up your alley, feel free to stop by. Link in the description below for my Discord, and ask any questions that you might have there. So thank you everyone so much for all of the support through Lost Ark and beyond and before. It's amazing. So again, thank you. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Sound off, one and all, everybody. Don't take what you openly have.